Hello everyone, it is Pat with our Oracle card reading and messages for this upcoming final week of April heading into the beginning of May. Gosh, our year is really chugging along here. So I'm so sorry. I did not get to doing a reading last week. My time got very tied up. I was a little bit tired. I have some more extra work and stuff that I took on, so it was purely like a scheduling thing. And please don't think it has nothing whatsoever to do with Doreen's most recent negative PR campaign against her cards that she put out last week. It has nothing to do with that. It was purely my scheduling and energy levels that kind of got in the way. And here's my little kitty Angel who's coming to say hello, as she often does when I'm on the computer. Look out, baby. Oops. She's knocking stuff all over the place. So in the interest of time, I went ahead and picked some cards for us ahead of time today. So for the archangels overseeing our week, and as you know, I've been picking archangel cards to oversee our week to find out who, what they're heralding, what they're heralding for the energies for the week and who we can call upon. So this week we had two angels that came out. The first was Haniel with moon cycles. It says, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestation and capitalize upon these cycles. Right now we're kind of in between. We're coming into a new moon on May 4th. So new moons are great times for starting new things. All right. So if you are, and it's also kind of heralding that there's new things coming in. So if there's new ventures that you've been, mulling about or looking into or whatever, considering to get started, new ideas to follow through on, great time to do it coming up. So she's saying capitalize, upon those cycles of the moon. We know that the cycles of the moon affect the tides. There's a strong, powerful, energetic pull associated, with the moon. So definitely work with those energies. All right. And the other card that came out was from Archangel Raziel with this message of take your power back. Use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. So what this heralds for this week is that it's a week where we're, we may be putting our foot down and finally saying enough is enough. Okay. And we're kind of tired of being yanked around or, feeling like we're being yanked around by something or someone. So it's, it's about that. Or you're tired of feeling like you're at the mercy of something in your life, or in other words, feeling like a victim of something in your life, a victim of certain circumstances or a person or something like that. So when Raziel comes up with this card, it heralds the fact that we're going to be taking steps this week to really take that power back. And stop feeling, powerless in a situation. In some ways, there is great power in surrendering. Like in that first step of Alcoholics Anonymous, it says, I'm powerless over, alcohol or whatever it is. But even that is an act of power. Sometimes surrendering to God or the angels, what have you, your fears, your worries, your situations that can be in and of itself an act of power, calling in their divine energies to help you. But anyways, it's a week, I feel like it's a week where we're kind of putting our foot down and saying enough is enough. I'm kind of done with this, or you're moving forward with wanting to change certain situations. So now for our cards this week, I opted for the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses card deck by Tony Carmine Salerno. I really like these cards. They're pretty. They have some really neat images on them, and I like their meanings. But so they're very much, the cards that we've got for this week are very much in alignment with this message of take your power back. So the beginning of the week is the Angel of Expression, and it says, speak your truth and express yourself clearly. So it certainly indicates around the beginning of the week that part of the way we're taking our power back is by speaking up. Bringing something to someone's awareness, taking those steps to have that conversation with someone to clear the air, clear the energy. I just need to clear something with you. Other people might be doing it by, writing something. I feel like other people may be coming forward, speaking out about something. This week, we may see in the news people stepping forward to speak up about something that's going on that's not right. Okay, so it's about that too. So anyways, that's what the beginning of the week heralds. It's stepping forward and expressing ourselves, making, bringing things to light, or bringing an awareness to someone, or speaking up about our needs, something like that. Okay, communicating. The middle of the week we have the goddess of compassion. And it says self-criticism is diminishing your sense of self-worth. So the middle of the week, it's really it's about having compassion on yourself, and you know, as you have compassion on yourself, you end up having compassion for others who are going through a similar situation or thing. But I feel like it has to do with yes, in the world at large, we are having compassion for people who've gone through certain situations, perhaps the ones that are being spoken up about. There's a great outpouring of compassion. But at a personal level, it's also compassion for you for what you've been going through, or giving yourself the compassion, a greater amount of compassion for having done the best that you could in your circumstances or whatever you were dealing with, and having gotten through it as best that you could. Okay, so the goddess of compassion reminds us that, you know, we all have, you know, good and bad qualities. I want to read a little bit from what it says here because I like it. So it's about being more compassionate towards yourself. All that you perceive to be good or bad are necessary aspects of who you are. So, you know, positive, negative qualities exist in everyone and everything. So it's about, you know, not continuing to kind of belittle or pick yourself apart for every little mistake or every little imperfection. All right, it's about having compassion on yourself. And I feel like in a bigger way, it's about having compassion for what you've been through and having done the best you could in your circumstances with your beliefs, and, you know, your knowledge at the time. Okay, so the card that comes in for the end of the week is this one, God of Reflections. And it says, the qualities you see in others are simply your own reflection. You know, in a very simple way, it's about the end of the week bringing in a time to reflect, or looking at the world as your world, you know, as a reflection of an aspect of yourself. You know, that card suggests, you know, the qualities you see in others, both good, the ones that you admire, you know, and the ones that maybe you don't like so much. They are in some way a reflection of an aspect of yourself. Maybe not the same way. You might not be expressing it the same way. And this kind of feels like what you're looking at. And the end of the week is, you know, we're kind of spending some time in honest reflection. Okay, maybe using that weekend time to take some time out and reflect upon things, you know, where you're at in your life, you know, and what you have in your surroundings, the people, and, you know, what's in your world kind of thing, and how is that a reflection of you, or just reflecting on it in general. And these cards also just represent general themes that are going on. So by the time we get to next weekend, there's a lot of just quiet reflection that's going on. So those are those cards. I wanted to quickly touch base with the Earth Magic cards again to get a sense of groundedness. You know, there's a lot of craziness that's been going on in the world. That's the message from the angels. Time to take your power back, because I know we can be looking out there saying, you know, God, there's a lot of craziness out there. Oh my gosh, what do we do about that? Blah blah blah. So, you know, the take your power back cards are very poignant at this point in time, for what needs to take place, you know, not to be giving our power away to other people and things. But, okay. So I wanted to touch base with these for either what's going on in our world or, you know, any other additional messages it may have. And the one that just flipped out is this one with wolf, with instinct. Okay, pay attention to your instincts. Instincts are very powerful. Okay, Let's see what other messages there are for us from this deck. The wolf. I mean, in a very literal way, it could mean that wolves are a problem where you are, or there's a concern around them, protecting them environmentally, or maybe there's a concern about, you know, how they're interacting with human populations. But let's see. Interesting. It says, yeah, it's about reconnecting with your instincts. Overcome the limits. Time to overcome the limited mindsets and tune into instinctual cues. Let the spirit of wolf be your teacher. So, and call upon this benevolent being for help, identifying what the specific cues are saying. So it's about paying, in other ways, it's about paying attention to your intuition, but it also, there's very slight, subtle differences between instinct and intuition. So this one's about paying attention to your instincts, what your instincts are telling you, okay? Which is, it comes from the subtle observations that we don't always formally acknowledge, but that come from the observations that we've had about people, situations, patterns of behavior, things like that. And just that it's a part of that inner knowing that we all have. So there's a return to paying attention to your instincts. Okay. Any other messages? Looks like there's a bunch of ones that maybe want to come out here. All right, let's see what these have to say. Okay. So we got Dragonfly with this message of emergence. And what a neat, funky card. In a very literal way, I know for here the springtime is emerging finally. So, you know, all the animals in pond life of the pond are reawakening and coming to life, including the dragonflies, the frogs, the peepers, things like that. But this card of emergence is significant as new things are emerging for you. Okay. And it's like you're coming to life. If you look at the messages that we got from the other cards this week, that about speaking up and having compassion for yourself, as well as speaking up about things in the world and having compassion about things that are going on there. It's the emergence of a new part of you. There's a new you that's emerging, okay, as she kind of rises up out of the water there, bringing new life to the surface, okay? So it's very symbolic in that way. And, towards the end of the week, we got this card, nurturing. And gosh, in this card, the image, it's like it embodies all it's like she's overseeing the land and the valleys, and she's got as part of her aura the beautiful flowers. So it coincides with the card that we got for the end of the week about reflection, okay? Reflection, taking that time out to reflect upon things, is a very nurturing thing to do, okay? So I feel like it has a lot to do with nurturing yourself in that way, as well as maybe getting out in nature, being out, and it's Gaia, okay? The consciousness of the earth, getting connected to that, spending time outdoors. So there is a lot that's going on that way this week in terms of nurturing ourselves, helping ourselves to reemerge, taking our power back. It's a real transformational process, but that's also what happens in the spring. There's transformation that takes place when all the rains and all the horrible weather, that we've endured all winter, contributes to a huge amount of growth and change and new life springing forward in spring. So my compassion goes out to the people who in the Midwest are still suffering through all those horrible snowstorms, because I think they got even more. So, I know that they are looking forward to the emergence of spring. So have faith. It is coming. It will get there. But nurture yourself along the way. Okay? Anyways, those are our messages for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to speaking with you again very soon. Take care, everyone.